Stardate 54989.1. The Tenshi has been orbiting the Silvorian homeworld for several days while we get ready to aid the people below. A Tholian assembly delegation will be arriving soon. Until then, the Tenshi is not allowed, or has not been allowed, to aid or make contact with the Silvorians. The Tholians have not been very forthcoming about them and have kept them a cultural outcast of sorts from the wider galactic community. While the Silvorians know of faster-than-light travel and of alien life, they have been prohibited from building vessels of their own and have had no contact with outsiders until recently. Both of our guests on board are in possible danger from the Tholians due to these restrictions. So far, they've been allowed to remain on the Tenshi. However, the fate of their world depend on what the delegation decides today. We've come a long way. We just got to make sure that we didn't come all this way for nothing. End log.
All right. Head to the bridge. Currently, the Tenshi is on standby in orbit around Silvora, the Silvorian homeworld. So far, no contact has been made for the past several days since you've arrived. It's almost as if you're just waiting for something to happen. As for the two civilian guests, where are they currently at on the ship?
Unless there's a specific objection from the doctor, I'd probably have them in quarters aboard the ship. They're allowed to be about the ship, but they're restricted from they're kept away from any restricted areas, and they're under I think the phrasing I used was a very polite guard. Like they're escorted, but not without any sort of very stern talking to sort of thing. Just more of a security presence, if anything.
Vogel, give me insight plus engineering difficulty of 2.
Alright, I'll give you a threat. Try to get some momentum here.
Two momentum has been gained.
Ship assist?
No, this is for something for Vogel that she
Okay,
sees
cool.
on the console.
I'm pressing buttons in an attempt to look busy, Captain.
Sarissa, any update on the mood of our guests lately? They must have been. I imagine they've been made aware of our current location for the last few days.
Well, concerned is probably a good way to sum it up. I'd say about around there. I mean, we're here, but Tholians and their own situation. Along with time that has passed, apprehension perhaps about finding out what has happened. If that makes sense.
Mm. And it's hard to hurry up and wait on a health crisis, but I'm glad they have the virtue of patience, if nothing else.
They perhaps don't have much of a choice but to wait.
There are many peoples who, when given no choice but to wait, they find ways to express their frustrations in much more colorful or physical ways. Try asking a Klingon to sit very politely somewhere and tell him that you'll get to him eventually. If you don't give him a good case of blood wine to keep him company, or an officer, that's a sure way to have some damaged furniture after a couple days.
No, you are correct. Let's just hope it's not for much longer.
Hmm. Well, given that the Tholians intend to meet us, they are a punctual people, if nothing else. If they have a intention to meet us, then they don't really want to have us sitting here deep in their space for any longer than absolutely necessary.
We can hope so.
Captain, sensors are having trouble scanning through the planet, and we are not detecting any communication from the planet's surface.
Is it due to some sort of artificial scattering field, or is it just part of the atmosphere?
We're trying to work that now, Captain.
Hmm.
In fact, that was the first question I asked. But yeah, Prax, I'll roll for the to see if I can determine what's causing it. I will use a momentum to turn on cautious, and if someone can get the ship sensor sign.
On it.
Is a difficulty taking into account the ship sensors or no?
It is, but my question is: are you scanning the planet or the surrounding area?
We're in orbit, so I'm gonna assume probably the planet because that's what we're trying to get. All right, so it's diff 4 adjusted, right? Okay, I'll use the other momentum and give you a threat. Reroll the 0.
Oops. And Cersei, in the event that they wish to, the delegation wishes to come aboard for our talks, let's make sure that we have an honor guard for them. Both for the chamber and for the route to the conference room. I want them to feel welcome, but also to recognize that we're not intimidated no matter how deep in our space we are.
Understood, sir. I will get right on organizing that. I'm assuming dress uniform, honor guard.
You guessed right, Sarissa.
All right. time to start tapping away and issuing orders for that.
Bridge to Dr. Quinn.
Quinn here.
How goes the preparations for emergency medical relief? Should we be allowed access to the planet?
Been ready for a couple of days, Captain. I sure wish I knew what that was holding them back.
Oh, we're the first ship to be really allowed within their space, let alone being even considered to go on one of their planets. The Assembly's probably dealing with unprecedented security and legal concerns. The speed of bureaucracy does not necessarily speed up when you get further away from the Federation. Sometimes it gets even slower.
Well, that'd be fine if there weren't people dying on the planet below, I assume.
I agree with you, Doctor, but Prime Directive kind of binds our hands at the moment. We're here at a very tenuous permission. To do more than that would be an act of war, as much as it is a mission of mercy.
Well, I understand, Captain. Well, I'll be ready to go. Sick bay's ready. I'm set up for medical research. We're ready when we're allowed to.
Also, wish to inform you that I do intend to invite the delegation, if they wish, to come aboard ship to have their talks. Which means if they do come aboard, that means whites and conference room meeting, and I want you to be there as well, since I'll need you to brief them on any medical concerns and logistics. No guarantee that meeting's going to happen, because the Tholians may wish to just stay on their own ship or demand we come to their ship, which I really hope they don't. But just be ready in either event.
Captain, personal question. With your permission, can I have permission to scan the Tholians without their knowledge while they're on? You know, there's not a lot we know about them.
As long as they're aboard our ship, you are permitted to review the passive sensor logs within ship. If you wish to scan them personally, you'll need to secure their permission as per regulation. Because otherwise, if I authorize you to scan them, that usually implies that I think they're a specific danger to the ship, and they will know that regulation as much as I do. They may be xenophobic, but they are very familiar with our ways.
Well, of course, Captain. But, medical scans would be appropriate, not just to satisfy our curiosity, which of course is the key to understanding anything, but also, we don't know that much about the Tholians. I mean, we need to make sure that our atmosphere is safe for them, and there's not any danger to them. And so, in the desire to make sure they are safe, we should conduct medical scans.
You've sold me, Doctor. The trick is selling it to them. My understanding of Tholians is that they travel, and if they travel off ship, they travel in EVA suits of their own. And if I'm a betting Cation, I would say that they would have some form of sensor baffling within their suits. But it never hurts to ask, and they can always say no. As long as you're honest with your intentions, it tends to reflect better on them. Tholians don't think very much of organics like ourselves.
Understood, Captain. I'll proceed accordingly.
Captain, I finished my scan of the planet's surface. It would appear that the Tholians have an active EM interference field around the planet. I was able to penetrate it in some regards. I am detecting a few major cities. However, a majority of their population lies in small farming or mining communities. It's my belief that this interference is also why we are not receiving any communications from the planet's surface.
How advanced would you say their society is? I know they have knowledge of warp fast FTL travel, but are they sitting on a fusion energy age, or are they still back in the information or even industrial type era?
I will find out that answer.
Because I imagine if Dr. Quinn is given permission to go down there, it changes how much we're allowed to actually bring down, because we may not be allowed to bring down our own equipment.
Within the major population centers, they do have more advanced technology similar to Earth's 22nd century. However, most of the rest of the planet is still using primitive hand tools.
One wonders when the Tholians encountered them. Are you able to determine from this distance, despite the interference, the presence of the disease or anything to that effect? Quarantined off areas, shielded grottos, that sort of thing? Or even just presence of the actual strain itself?
Unfortunately, the interference from their EM field is still wreaking havoc on the sensors, Captain. I don't think I'll be able to find that information out from here.
In an ideal world, they'll bring down that shield and let us do a planetary scan, but we may have to resort to either using a shuttle below the shield surface, should they allow us in, to do the scan, or have to do a planet-side scan. So have plans ready for either event in the event we... Because if we're going to deal with a planetary illness like this, we need independent data from either the Tholians or even the Silvorians themselves to contrast and compare.
Hi, Captain. I'll get the shuttle bays and medical teams on standby.
So, Shran, how big of a team do you think you might need if we need to fabricate and deploy a field hospital in the event we can't use the medical facilities on the surface or on the ship, for that matter?
Give me a second. Let me run some numbers in my head real quick, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I could probably have a very basic field hospital up within 24 hours with the full team, but many hands make light work.
I'll draw up a proposal, because we're gonna have to, if we do it, we'll have to sell it to the Tholians that it's of necessity. Ideally, they'll let us use the ship and we can just operate from up here, and we can come and go as we please. But if they are particularly shielded or guarded, they may demand that we only use a certain level of interaction. Not quite prime directive, but they may not want us to be showing the flag too much to the people below.
Understood. I'll get a proposal all drawn up and
Mm.
worked out.
All right, I'm gonna go have a talk with our guests. Thishran, you have the bridge for the time being. Call down once the Tholians have come into range with their delegation.
Understood, sir.
You walk into the turbo lift and computer location of the Silvorian guests.
Deck 8.
Turbo lift deck 8.
And you arrive at on deck 8, where there's 2 security officers standing by at one of the doors.
Officer, report.
They seem to be all quiet. We gave them each their own individual quarters, but they choose to spend their time in together. But so far, they haven't moved, sir.
Very good. He chimes the door.
Enter.
Good day, career. Taya.
Captain. They both kind of stand up and do a slight bow.
Just wanted to come by to check on the two of you once again. Wanted to inform you that the time of the delegation's approach is shortly coming. And we've made as much preparations as we can to help your people. It's a mere matter of the diplomatic points for them to allow us onto your world. To help speed things along, do you know of anyone in particular we would want to speak with on the surface that would be the leader in treating the illness or organizing any emergency care for the world?
The two of them kind of look at each other. Erica speaks. It's been 20 years, Captain. Many things have probably changed since then. I can't.
Well, I would presume some sort of minister of health or planetary administrator. If there's any such title that you have in your society.
No, we actually don't. Taylor's like, tell him. The Tholians they're the ones that kind of tell us how to live and what to do.
Is there a
far as I'm
planet-side Tholian administrator then, or do they just administer from orbit? Or even remotely, for that matter?
There are communication devices at the capital city. Delegate orders and what they need, and then there's certain people who then administrate that. Though those administrators tend to exchange hands quite frequently.
I'm sure the doctor has taken some time to tell you, and if not, I'll take this time to tell you that the Tholians did wish for you to be returned to their ship and to their people, to their care. For the time being, we've been able to keep you here as guests of ours, as the criers of help, as it were. I imagine the delegation is going to try to demand that you're turned over to them and returned to your world. But I would be remiss if I did not ask what your intentions or wishes were. He kind of just folds his arms and just stands there.
We built our vessel under, I should say, under the thumb of the Tholians, and we launched as soon as we can when the Blight started to affect us. We tried to seek others to help, our world, such as you have been graciously to do so. I can imagine the Tholians don't take too kindly for us building a starship. It is technically forbidden for us to do so.
Under penalty of what? Dare I ask?
They both kind of have like this sad, like depressing, like look on their face. Death. We knew our lives would be forfeit when we set out and looked at the stars, Captain. But our lives are insignificant if it could save billions.
Would you be amenable to exile from your world and people, from the Tholian space?
I don't think they would allow it. If our people found out that we were able to leave our world and
I'm not asking you if they would allow it. I'm asking if you would be willing to live with it, should that possibility be secured. I know of some peoples who would sooner die than be parted with their home soil, and others who have no such existential crisis when moved away from their world. For two people who've gone so far, I don't know how painful that was for you or not.
most of us said our goodbyes. We weren't sure if it would be a one-way trip or not. Captain. Perhaps we'll cross that bridge when the time comes.
With your permission, I would like to petition for your exile rather than your death. I am not. It is not in my nature, nor of the Federation's nature, to permit killing that is wholly unnecessary. But I can't guarantee anything. I can tell you honestly that this interaction with the Tholians is more than most of us have had the opportunity to. So we are very much in uncharted territory when it comes to diplomatic relations in such a intimate regard. But I don't want to make the petition and force such a choice on you if it's one you don't wish to risk. Because I imagine, should exile be offered and allowed, I would have to obfuscate that you left at all, that we mysteriously found out through some means and we're just here to help. Much as I hate to hide the truth, I'd rather preserve lives than stand on a point of openness.
Give me presence command opposed. And it's going to be between the two of them. So whatever you roll. Both of them are kind of have different thoughts on this.
Disarming nature talent. Okay, so and inspiration focused. I'm trying to get them to not give up. Like they're already willing. Like, no, we're willing to die. Like, no, there's another way. Maybe.
Sure.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, in that case, I'll throw a momentum at it. Yep. Nope, I rolled one too few dice. Sorry.
Ooh.
Could I spend toward the value? When we work together, the impossible becomes possible. Like trying to say, no, if you work with me on this and I work with the Tholians, we can secure some sort of mutual arrangement.
Sure.
I
am not taking any threat for this roll, by the way. So,
Hmm?
FYI. I will not be taking threat for this roll because I consider these two like their own group.
Yeah, they're their own faction. I'm gonna check to see if I'll keep my veterancy. Nope. Well, that's gonna be annoying for later. I tried.
Kara speaks up. I appreciate you going us for the gracious offer, Captain, but I must refuse. Tay kind of looks at him like, I mean, he's offering help. He could maybe do so much more for us. Captain, please. I would accept it, but I know there are people on our world that don't wish to live this way, the way our people have lived for centuries. Taya, it's not our place. She kind of like fumes angrily a bit. Excuse me, Captain. Kind of walks past you and walks out.
Our career.
My,
Oh, go ahead.
my apologies. This has been tough on her.
A heroic mission across the stars can be hard on anyone. It's fine. If you reconsider, be sure to tell your escort, and he can pass along the message to me. But I will respect your wishes.
Thank you, Captain.
He'll step out and look to the officer. Did she say where she was going?
I believe the Arboretum, sir.
Very well. If Career Inside has a message for me, be sure to have it passed to me discreetly via Sarissa. Things are rather delicate at the moment, but we want to give these people as much opportunity to choose their fate as we can. Understood?
Understood.
Walks away for a bit, kind of stops and rubs his head like, God damn it. I'll head toward the Arboretum.
Okay. That's going to be theater of the mind.
What? You don't have that ready to go?
No, I don't.
But we go there so often.
Really?
Yeah, every day.
I'll make a
That's where
pretty
our
graphic
briefings are.
one day. One day I'll make a pretty graphic for it.
Is there anyone else in the Arboretum when I step in, other than Taya and her escort?
No, not really.
Hmm.
It's kind of like the middle of the day.
I'll nod to the officer and walk beside Taya.
She's sitting on like one of the benches.
I'll stay standing. I get the feeling you wanted to tell me something.
There's nothing to tell. She just kind of like looks down, kind of sad.
I intend to do what I can for your people. But I want you to understand that there is limitations to my authority and what I can do. The most I can offer is what I'm planning on, the giving medical assistance and care to your people and hopefully preserve your people from this plight. But as for separating you from the assembly, he looks around the Arboretum. I don't know if I can convince them of that. My best guess would be we wouldn't be able to take guardianship of your world, as your world is distant from my space, from the Federation. And the best I think that would happen would be two situations. One, your people being expelled from the planet and forced into Federation's care or into an independent system. Or, in the most optimistic of situations, a sort of Federation embassy of some kind, and we having to share the world in responsibility. But these are things I think the Federation would be willing to do, especially in the name of peace and aiding any people. But I'll be honest with you, I don't know if the Tholians will agree to that. But then again, if you asked me 5 years ago if I thought the Tholians would allow a Starfleet vessel into their space, even under escort, I would tell you that would be impossible. Yet, here we are above your world. So, all I can offer is that I and my crew will try our best to help you and your people. I'm just sorry I won't be as capable of helping you and your friend directly.
The only thing the Tholians value from us is our natural resources and our labor. They care little for our people. We are doomed into servitude. If we resist, Captain, like so many other worlds, they will just annihilate us and place someone else here. Do you even think you could save 4 billion, Captain?
He grins, and in a way, I've done it before. Though I will admit this is a far more challenging prospect. But we Cations are not ones to back away from challenges, especially when it means doing the right thing in the end. If you wish to pass on any additional information that you can recall or any message you wish to get to me, feel free to tell your escort, and I will be informed shortly. Until then, enjoy what you can.
If I'm not able to get a message, my little brother, of course, he probably look much older than me by now. Atos, he let him know that I made it. You're not able to save me.
How would he know my message was genuine rather than an empty platitude? Is there something I could tell him that he would know it is true, or some keepsake of yours that he would recognize?
Tell him I was able to fulfill my dream of going beyond the twin moons, Desna and Nesna.
He types it out. He starts typing something out on a pad and kind of. Did you say those names again? Of those moons?
Desna and Nesna, twin moons. The name of the two moons that orbit our world.
Oh. And your brother's name again was? Atos? Tost.
Atos.
I will do what I can. He nods to her and then to the officer and heads back to the bridge.
And you can visibly see that she's like trying to hold back some tears.
Yeah.
And you head back to the bridge.
Status report?
No changes, sir.
All's quiet.
Sarissa, I've told their escorts to contact you should any messages be needed to be discreetly handed off to me, so just be aware.
Understood, Captain.
I'll be in the ready room. The Strand, keep the seat warm for me, would you?
Understood.
Yeah, I'm just going to read over anything the diplomatic corps has to say or suggest about dealing with the Tholian assembly and what, because we've had ambassadors with them, but it's like there's probably some tips on like, hey, don't do this, be sure to do that, you know. And I'll just read over the reports because it's something to do to kill time while I'm waiting for the Tholians to show up. Also, Athatan's a bit upset. He's trying not to show it to the crew at the moment. He's burying himself in some work. You know, because he just kind of got a dying declaration, more or less. So, you know. I suppose it's last will, not dying declaration.
And we transitioned over to sickbay. Doctor, most stuff you told me, like you're able to kind of synthesize and prepare.
Okay. And the doctor is quietly contemplating how he can get those things down to the surface without anybody finding out.
The materials. Um, I will tell you to feel free to think of a way. You might have to bring somebody in on it. But in terms for synthesizing like enough for everyone on the planet, you would probably need to contact the bridge to see if they have a population number or one of the two guests.
That sounds like a plan. Sickbay bridge.
That'd be Euthashran. Or possibly Vogel, being operations.
Go ahead, Sickbay.
What's our we got any population estimate on the civilian?
I've detected a population of roughly 587 million.
Thank you, Bridge. Good payout. GM, can I actually produce that much of the Q? Or am I going to have to teach them how to do it themselves?
You could produce quite a bit of it using the replicators. It would probably take several weeks to do so, unless you teach them how to synthesize it or if they have the appropriate technology to do so. So you technically do a combination of both. It just most of it's going to be time, not so much resources.
All right, I'm gonna get my staff working on producing as much of the cures as we can transport and store. And then, like I said, I'm gonna have the video instructions for how to produce it. And I need to start doing some research on our scans to see what their technology level is like to modify my instructions based on their level of technology. And then I'm going to send a secure message to the chief engineer asking him to come see me in sickbay when he gets a chance.
The Strand, get a message from the doctor to ask to see him in sickbay.
Okay. Give me a second. Oh, good grief! I need to figure out who's most senior on the bridge. Sarissa,
Yep.
Sir,
you have the bridge. Doctor wants to see me in sickbay.
understood, sir.
and I will head to sickbay. Doctor, you wanted to see?
Thanks for coming, Shran. I need your help. Trying to come up with a proposal for a plan B to present to the captain. A way we can get the cure down to the planet and some instructions for for their people how to reproduce the cure for themselves. I want to have something complete to to present to the captain before I get his hopes up. You think you could help me find a way to discreetly transport the cure and transmit instructions for how to replicate it based on their technology? In other words, can we find a way to transport that stuff without the Tholians finding out?
The only other thing I can think of. Oh,
We can hear you now.
I can think. The first thing I can think of is transporting it down into a alleyway that nobody is monitoring. But with the electromagnetic interference, that probably would be ill-advisable. A shuttle would be the most logical way. And do we know what type of data transfer they use right now?
I don't. The operations chief might.
Hmm. Yeah. Give me a second. Lieutenant Thashran to Lieutenant Vogel.
Go ahead.
Do you have any information regarding the type of data transfer they use on the planet right now?
Unfortunately, I have not been able to find any source of communications. The interference from the Tholian field is interfering with our sensors and all communications to and from the planet.
Okay. Then that makes this a little bit more difficult. Thanks a lot, Vogel.
Bridge out.
Well, Doc, the best thing I can think of is that we need to go down to the planet and figure out what type of data transfer they use, whether it be Earth 22nd century or older or even newer.
Sounds reasonable. Maybe while the Tholians are giving us so much time to ponder things, maybe we should think of a way to get through that, what do they call it, shielding? Sorry,
The
I fell asleep in my
electromagnetic shielding.
class.
Yeah, the electromagnetic shielding, it'll prevent a lot of what we would normally do from being as reliable.
Well, I imagine the best engineer in Starfleet could probably find a way around.
The best I can think of, Doctor, is loading a data pad with the information, and whatever we find while we're down there, being able to transfer it into it somehow. I mean, we can't really give them a data pad with information on it.
Now the Tholians would find that in a heartbeat. That would ruin everything.
Yeah.
Keep thinking about it. And maybe by the time the Tholians get here, we'll have a backup plan to present to the captain, just in case.
Yeah. Understood, Doc. I'll try to figure that out, but yeah. Is there anything else?
No, that's it. Thanks, Shrimp.
No problem. And I will head out of sickbay to ponder types of data transfer that might be used.
Doctor, give me presence medicine difficulty of 2 to have your medical staff start synthesizing the essentially cure, the antidote for this affliction.
All right, can I give you a threat on that?
Sure. I'm assuming you have no way of re-rolling that.
I do not.
You do succeed, but there's a complication. Your medical staff gets back to you saying they are able to synthesize roughly 300,000 vials of the medication per day. That's adding the complication, and they, in order to create more, they'll have to divert more personnel to help and put a load on the medical replicators in order to synthesize more vials per day.
Well, the doctor believes whatever is necessary, we're going to do it. To cure the disease.
And while you're doing that, the ship goes into yellow alert. We jump back to the bridge.
Captain, I'm detecting a Tholian vessel that just entered the system.
Hail them.
If it's me that does the communications, I will open a channel.
It doesn't take long in the on the view screen. I am Ambassador Yodra, the Tholian Assembly.
I am Captain Athaton of the USS Tenshi of the United Federation of Planets. Pleasure to meet you, Ambassador.
My government has informed me that you are currently in possession of 2 civilian spies, as well as their plea to help their world of a certain affliction.
I do have 2 Silvorian guests aboard, yes. And as I communicated with your captain before, a few days ago, my understanding was that they were seeking medical aid. We do not, it is, as far as my knowledge, we don't have any intelligence assets among the Silvorian people. As far as I'm aware, this is first contact with these people. But if you, I would actually would like to go over the details of our aid, and I would invite you to come aboard our ship if you like, to discuss that rather than over comms.
Give me presence command difficulty of 3.
Disarming nature. Because I don't know if it's a relax or trust issue, because if it isn't, then it wouldn't apply.
Yeah, I don't think this is gonna apply because
All right. I'll give you a threat. Could I possibly try to wrangle assistance from Sarissa, detailing the honor guard we have intended for them? Like showing that we've already done some homework on what we're going to do when they come aboard.
sure, but Sarissa needs to tell me what they're going to say.
Thatton kind of looks over at you, Sarissa, kind of with a meaningful look of, yeah, go ahead and tell them.
We have prepared a full honor guard for your arrival, along with any aids or assistance or your own personal security you might wish to bring aboard. They are in, well, their finest and will be present from transportation along to our conference room. It'll be a clear display of our commitment to this endeavor.
All right, you can roll assist with presence command.
I definitely do not have a focus. If I did have a focus, that would have been 2, but
Very well. We will beam aboard your vessel within 2 hours.
And the communication instantly closes.
I've never had so much trouble convincing an ambassador to visit a ship, but there we go.
Good thing it's 2 hours. It only takes an hour and a half to get into dress uniforms.
All right, Vogel. Let's send out a bulletin to all senior staff to be ready in dress whites for a diplomatic meeting in 2 hours. Actually, make that hour 45. I want people to be early to the meeting.
Aye, Captain. I will send that communique out to all the senior staff.
Let's make sure that our ship honor guard detail is very, very prepared.
That's your department.
Oh yeah, no, I know that's my department. That's what I'm doing.
Oh, and don't forget, Lieutenant, that means you too, Vogel. He kind of pats her shoulder like, yeah, you're not getting out of this.
And she will gulp.
That, and we'll head off to change to his dress whites. And once he's all changed up, he'll probably go back to assist Sarissa to make sure the honor guard's settled, and then after that, probably head down to the transporter room. That's his intention, anyway. Thatton's actually excited to wear his dress whites. He likes wearing it. Means he's not being shot at. Generally.
Shot at in dress whites before.
I mean, it can happen, but you know.
Oh, Sarissa's being shot at in dress whites on the last ship, actually. In fact, her first mission with the last ship.
As well, Thatton's probably gonna. I don't know if I want to make this if this is an advantage creation or not, but I'm thinking of trying to have like the equivalent of refreshments prepared for the Tholians, or even if they can't consume anything at the table, then a gift to give them as a parting gift, like something we know that Tholian culture tends to like. That isn't a living, breathing person. Because no, I'm not giving them a tribute of one of my officers. That's just not happening. Maybe Vogel. She's a bit uppity, but you know. Don't worry, she comes with psychic powers. And that's when Thatton lost his captaincy. You did what with one of your officers? Why did you think we'd be okay with this?
Her record's not too great. That's fine.
Let's make that a daring plus command difficulty of 2 to create a appropriate gift, because I don't think refreshments are going to be an option based on what
Yeah.
the lands are.
Don't think our ship is equipped with, but whoops, I'm looking at the wrong ship stats entirely. This ship. Yeah, we don't have that. You don't have the fancy diplomatic suite to help me. I will throw a threat at you. Worth trying.
You have a gift that you've replicated. It's a very lovely gift, but you're not sure if they're gonna like it or not. But it's a nice gesture, at least.
With that failed roll, it's like, I'll just fall back on something I know Cation's like some traditional Cation gift. I don't know. What do you give a Tholian? Crystal? They find that insulting? Flowers? It would burn. Ooh, bit of reach. Could I possibly pull up data from the ship's computers and to try to get to assist me with computers command? Like, hey, has someone else given a gift to a Tholian that they didn't like immediately throw back at them? Even if it's from the TOS era? Like, hey, there's this one guy. I use copy of Tenshi. Sorry. Close that one. Use this one. Computers plus command. Aha!
It is a very, very lovely gift.
I don't see what the
it's in a special case because it has to be thermally regulated to the Tholian atmosphere. So when you move it, you have a special tray that you have to move it with because the glass container is so hot. But it almost looks like some sort of crystalline flower.
I might have to get one of these for myself. Wait, what?
All right.
That's it for the captain, though.
Who is all at the transporter room?
All of us.
Whole entire senior staff.
Yep. Everyone in their nice whites.
With what I imagine ended up being about half the security department that we still have in dress whites lining the corridor.
And 3 Tholians beam aboard, all wearing currently. You can tell they're Tholians, but they're in some sort of like Eva suit. Seems to allow them to regulate their internal body temperature and move about.
Ambassador, welcome aboard the USS Tenshi.
Sorry.
Greetings.
I have the pleasure of introducing you to my senior staff. This is Lieutenant Commander Alton Quinn, our Chief Medical Officer. Beside him here is Lieutenant Commander Shras Thashran, our Chief Engineer. This is my Chief of Security, Lieutenant Sarissa. And my Chief of Operations, Lieutenant Junior Grade Sarah Vogel. If you'll follow us, we'll escort you to the conference room. Unless you have any questions that you immediately wish answered.
No, not at this time.
If you'll follow us, then. I'll gesture to the ambassador to walk alongside him. Or probably somewhat more behind him, because I just realized Tholians are actually fairly large.
Yes.
Probably dominates the corridor.
They are quite. I mean, yes and no. So, they do take up quite a lot of space because of how many limbs they have. But the exosuit that they're wearing makes them larger than what they really appear. So.
As I'm walking along with them, I'll talk with them. So, Ambassador, have you ever been aboard a one of our ships before?
This is the first time.
Well, I can tell you that the Tenshi is a Nebula class configured for crisis and emergency response missions. We are the first responders to medical and planetary crisis. So it is quite fortunate that we were the ones that your citizens were able to contact. There's not much help one of our tactical ships wouldn't be able to provide them beyond very preliminary care. And in fact, our staff here are specially trained for crisis such as one for a planet of that size. Anything short, the only thing that would be more helpful would be a hospital ship, but we generally don't have those along the frontier unless there is an immediate and pressing need, of course. That's what we're for, or ships like the Tenshi is for, anyway. Thank you, Dr. Quinn. Out of character, Lee.
Dr. Quinn, you definitely feel at least surface thoughts from the Tholians that they're not um, listen to words, interested in things. They're more, especially from the ambassador, like they just want to be here and get this done and be about their business. There is some quite irritation, and they may not be. They don't feel as open to you guys as what you would probably like going into these negotiations.
I'm gonna send telepathically to the captain. Captain, you're gonna have to win them over. They're not happy to be here, and they're not really interested in what we have to say.
Um, Captain, you're gonna have to give me fitness medicine difficulty of 2 to kind of get that because you're
Sure.
not telepathic.
Ooh. Ah, shoot. Oh well.
You got a
Almost.
slight headache, like someone's trying to send you something, like you're not really sure who it's from.
He'll briefly rub his forehead just from the pain of it and kind of just keep going on. It's over that way is our galley, and but we won't be stopping in there. We're heading to the conference room since they'll have the most space for all of us, and we can coordinate our efforts via our briefing table there as well. There'll be enough seating for all of us. So has the may I ask how long this plight has been on this world? Or have you been briefed to that effect?
Records indicate that this plight has been going on for the past 50 years.
Have any medical surveys been done on the planet since then by your government or by the people below?
We have it well under control. But if you have synthesized a cure, I'm sure that they will be most grateful to take charge of it.
Well, we're happy to assist our neighbors in helping each other, and my doctor has come up with a cure for the disease. We may need to survey some of the population below to ensure that the cure that we're able to apply to those aboard will be as effective on the people on the planet's surface.
If you wish to hand over the cure, you may do so, and we can beam the necessary information to them. But for over the past 50 years, we have dealt with this fight in such many ways that has allowed them to survive so far.
Dr. Quinn, could you elaborate on your cure? Is this merely a vaccine or treatment of symptoms, or is this truly a cure, a end of the blight?
Certainly, Captain. It is a cure, but I would need to go down to the surface and examine a few of the Silvorians on the planet. Just the type of the version of the virus that we have from our guests is 20 years old. I need to ensure that it hasn't mutated in the last 20 years. I'm confident in the work, Captain, but I need, as a doctor, I need to be sure.
Of course. Well, Ambassador, as the good Dr. Quinn says, it would be beneficial if we could render an examination to make sure that the cure is as effective as it can be. And we're happy to coordinate with your medical staff below to ensure. And actually, that is a point I wish to bring up. My understanding of these people is that you have a policy of them not, or forgive me, correct me if I'm wrong, but do you have a policy of them being, by law, of them being kept ignorant of the galaxy at large, a sort of similar to almost like a version of our Prime Directive?
Knowledge is irrelevant.
So their knowledge of us would be irrelevant. It wouldn't be of much. It wouldn't hurt you either way. Is that correct?
We will only allow you to interact with a few of them.
Very well. And ideally, we would like to interact with a few of them, and as you say, and I believe my doctor will be happy with that. With your permission, we would like to have the ability to render planetary scans, so that way we can see how the spread of the disease is progressing and being hindered. So that way we can observe its effects from a distance and coordinate with the doctor on the ground and any medical staff we're allowed to speak with. Of course, we are willing to, for any sense of your privacy and security, we are willing to limit our scans to purely medical concerns and share such data with you, of course, since that would be I imagine that would be of use to you. Or if not a lowering of your scattering field or access to the planet, then perhaps access to your scanning data so that we may reflect on it using our computers.
Appropriate data will be handed over to you. If you're required to go down to the surface of the planet, we will allow a limited number of personnel from your vessel to beam to the capital city, where their current hospital district is taking care of those who are infected.
Doctor, how long do you believe it will take us to, assuming everything goes well, How long do you think it will take to treat this disease and cure it?
Well, Captain, it could take quite some time to synthesize enough of the cure to treat them for ourselves. If we could be permitted to uh, look at their medical technology and teach them how to replicate the cure themselves, could speed up the process and save the Tholians from having our presence overlong on their planet.
You may transmit any appropriate data for the cure for the civilians to our vessels. We will have the appropriate materials and equipment to synthesize the cure on their homeworld.
All right, then. So I believe we have a plan of meeting with the appropriate people, access to the appropriate data, and a plan on how we're going to implement the cure, and a backup plan in the event that we need to modify the cure to fit any new variables. I believe that's correct, Doctor? I don't believe I missed anything regarding any medical requirements we may have.
You're correct, Captain.
My Lieutenant Vogel will be able to coordinate with your staff regarding access to data and anything on the surface as well regarding the sensor data. And she'll also be the chief liaison between our ship and yours, so we don't have to have commanding officers talking to each other all the time. I know you and your men are very busy, and I don't want to slow you down by having to wait for me to be available as the case is needed. But of course, if my word is required, then I will step in, of course. Do you have any special security concerns you wish us to observe, or any laws you wish us to be aware of while we're on one of your planets?
You are not to deviate from the main hospital on capital city, Silvora.
And should we require to deviate, we would have to contact you and secure that permission, correct? Or would there be a
Deviation will
local
not be
representative?
required. If you require anything, the local representative will assist you.
Oh,
You're
okay.
not to leave the hospital.
Of course. I like having... it's a Starfleet thing. We tend to like having backup plans in case things come up, but that's fine with me anyway. Who is the representative we'll be speaking with on World?
Dr. Zatin. He
Dr.
has been
Zatin.
delegated.
I presume this is one of the Silvorians.
Correct.
All right. Sarissa, ensure that any personnel we have for the away team is made aware of that restriction, and be sure to monitor any to prevent any violation of their sovereignty.
Understood, sir. I will put a data pack together for any awaiting personnel.
Mm-hmm.
You will only be permitted to beam down with appropriate medical precision. No weapons.
Of course. Actually, as a point of backup, as it were, would you be willing to allow us a Type 1 phaser specifically set only for the lower registries of energy use? Not so much used as a weapon, but we in Starfleet sometimes use them as an emergency tool or a backup battery device. But I can make it an order that they cannot be used as a weapon for the duration of the away team. And if we restrict the vaporization settings on them, that limits their military capability.
No weapons. If you require emergency batteries, they will be supplied for you.
Very good. He kind of shrugs at Sarissa like, I tried. And how many personnel would we be allowed to have in the hospital? You said you wanted not a very large number, but as my chief engineer says, more hands makes lighter work. But and if we can lend more hands to the solution, we can be quicker out of your troubles.
Only 5 individuals will be allowed to be beamed down to the surface of the planet. No further. If you require further assistance, you can do so on the planet's surface. Dr. Zatin will apply. Dr. Zatin will accommodate you.
Very well.
He has been instructed to do so.
Well, we believe we have all our major concerns. Do any of you four have any questions for the ambassador? Or anything you wish to alert him to, given our mission?
It would be useful, Captain, if we had a summary of the Silvorians' technological capabilities so that we can prepare adequately for mass producing the.
All equipment will be provided for mass production of the cure.
Very well. I believe the last point of our meeting and is in regarding to our Silvorian guests aboard.
He will turn them over for immediate punishment.
Ambassador, I would like to propose something to you. These people went to great lengths to help their people, the Silvorians, below, and you have been handling it, as you say, but they have drawn extra assistance to the cause and lightened the load on your end. And I would like to hope that that may be put into consideration as a contribution to your society rather than in light of their crimes. And to that effect, I would actually like to offer, I've been informed, and feel free to correct me if I've been misled. I've been informed that the punishment of such a of their offenses may amount to and including capital punishment.
I'm going to answer the doctor's question real quick, and you get a
Sure.
sense of authoritarianism from them, like they're laying down the law. As for the second part,
The two civilians will be placed in our care. They broke the law. Our laws set forth by the Silvorians. They will be punished.
I propose an alternative punishment. I'm not sure if it's one that the Tholian Assembly practices. It's not one typically practiced in the Federation anymore, anyway. But that of the punishment of exile from your assembly. I would be willing, if you have it within your laws or in your government, to transport them out of your space. If you feel that would be, as the punishment would be that they would be separated from their world forever and never allowed to return. It may not be as final a punishment as one might like, but it is a severe punishment all the same to be separated from one's homeworld for the duration of one's life.
An example must be made.
Well, could I ask you to pass along my proposal to your government before I turn them over? Please understand that it is troubling for us in the Federation to be party to the death of a living being. Now, I don't mean to instruct you on your law or to impose our law on you. I simply ask that the possibility be raised and that it be given consideration. It is merely an option I'm offering, nothing more.
Captain, may I make a suggestion?
Feel free, Doctor.
Ambassador, if the Sylvan population on the planet below don't know that our guests have survived, then the example to their people of your supremacy could be that you capture them. You can tell the people that you captured them and destroyed them yourselves. We could set the vessel afloat. We could record you destroying their vessel, and the population would never know that our guests survived. So you would have your example as needed under your law, and it might help improve relations with the Federation because as you showed mercy to our guests.
Mercy is irrelevant. An example must be made.
Can you pass on my message to the Assembly, Ambassador?
I am the representative of the Assembly. Any message, I am the complete authority here.
Oh. My apologies, Ambassador. Your system works differently than ours. That was my misunderstanding. Would you like them transported by end of day?
You have 24 hours. We will send over appropriate equipment so they can survive on our vessel.
Very good, Ambassador. We will begin our preparations for the mission, and I'll make sure that my guests are informed of your decision.
Acknowledged. These are proceedings within a complete. We will return to our vessel.
In the spirit of recognizing our cooperation and our peaceable contact, I wish to offer you a gift, a parting gift for your visit today, Ambassador. That's when he actually produces the big, heavy glass case.
Your gift is appreciated.
Yeah. Sarissa, if you will accompany me and to escort the ambassador back to the pad, the rest of you prepare for away mission protocols and receiving of information from our Tholian friends, and we will prepare for rendering assistance as quickly and as efficiently as we can.
Understood, sir.
Ambassador, if you'll follow me and the lieutenant, we'll see you back to the transporter pad.
And you escort them back to the transporter room. Feel free to roleplay that out in the conference room. While the captain and Sarissa are gone. Right. Captain, they beamed back over to their vessel. They inform you that you have 24 hours from the time they beamed over to prepare them for their arrival to their ship.
Oh, that was fun.
You know, based on what I could read on those guys, I'm amazed they came at all or let us in.
Right, Captain, would you want me to go inform our guests, or will you be doing that yourself?
Yes, inform our guests of their situation. If they wish to speak with me, let me know and I can speak with them. But somehow, I don't think it's very appropriate for them to face the person who failed them. At least them personally.
Understood, Captain. I will let them know. You did your best.
My best would involve photon torpedoes and the end of my career and endangering everyone aboard. But I don't know if that would actually help. But somehow it might make me. I get a feeling it wouldn't make me feel as good as it. He
Your
just
best
waves at
short
you.
of suicide.
Yeah.
Computer, the location of our guests.
Deck 8.
And she will go. Still in those lovely dress whites because, yep, I'm wearing
That
them
does
now.
not make that any better at all.
Nope,
Yeah.
but I'm wearing them now. And it's more like I've just come straight from there. I'm not gonna hang around and wait to tell you what's happened. Oh, hi, right. What are you still doing here?
Hmm. Oh, there she is. Yeah, you're right. Boop.
Alright, she'll nod at the security officer as she passes, go chime the door for, before entering.
Enter.
Well, we've just had the Tholian ambassador come and go. We will be able to disseminate the cure to your people.
Thank you.
That is the good news. Unfortunately, uh, we have been completely unable to negotiate or have any sort of leeway given on the situation regarding you two. The Tholians are quite stubborn in their requests or demands for that subject. As it is, we have 24 hours to hand you over. And I am sure the captain is more than willing to extend that to the last hour, should you wish to stay that long. If there's anything you wish to
Um,
say to the captain, you may, but he did not think it appropriate to be the one to tell you this. He sees what this is as a failure on his part.
I see. I was going through your laws. There's this thing called asylum.
Yes, that is one of our laws. I assume you have been looking into it?
Yes, but I'm afraid. I don't know if death is any is worse off than being alone.
Would it just be you, or would you have your companion here? Beyond that, there are many, many other people out there. They can't
He's too
replace your
stubborn.
people. Oh, I see. Well, I know that nothing we have can replace your people, but you will have a life. And what you do of that and make of that, well, that becomes entirely to your hands. Should you wish to make that request for asylum, I can inform the captain, or indeed take you to the captain to inform him.
I I request asylum aboard your ship.
Your request has been noted and will be passed up to the captain in due, well, immediately. Uh, well, I think we're all quite happy you looked into that, actually. Is We'll see. Well, yes. Ceresa to Captain Athaton.
Captain here, go ahead.
And Thea has been looking through Federation laws, and as such has just requested asylum aboard our ship.
So noted. Uh, inform her that her asylum request will be considered immediately. And I'll inform her of my decision as soon as possible.
Understood, Captain. Series out.
Just gonna look at Tav because she could hear all of that anyway.
That's political speak for official purposes of making things sound good. I don't know if you actually understand that. Or I'm not a diplomat, sorry.
It's not
But-
guaranteed. I know.
No, but it's something. It's a chance, and if we can take it, well. If you've been reading about the Federation, we quite value life for both ourselves and anyone else we encounter. It's preferable to anything else. We will do what we can. But on that note, if you're requesting asylum and your companion is not, that is 24 hours that you have. And then he will be handed over to the Tholians as they request.
I don't wish to die by their hands. I won't be a political puppet for their means.
We'll do our best to make sure that can't happen, or won't happen. Is that all, or is there something I can do for you? There's not particularly much I imagine I could do, but
No. I
all
just
right.
hope I'm
Well,
not being too selfish in all this.
I don't think so. Wanting to live is not exactly anything someone would call selfish. We'll be in contact with you once the captain's got an answer for you.
Thank you.
She'll nod and turn to leave.
And I'm guessing they're actually in separate rooms right now, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, I guess I've got to go to the other room then. Okay, and chime the door.
Enter.
And another nod. We have just finished with the Tholian delegation. They have come and gone across this vessel. We will be able to assist your people and disseminate the cure to your world.
Well, at least there's still hope. I'm assuming I'll be to be handed over to the Tholians.
That is their demand, yes. And at present, we have no reason to go against their laws, no matter how harsh or unjust we may see them. That is the unfortunate truth of it, and I'm not going
How
to
long
bend
do I
words
have?
with you. 24 hours. That is the limit they have asked for us. And well, we are reasonably fine with playing lines. So 23 and a half, 23, if last minute, we can play to that.
If I give you some appropriate things to replicate, your food dispensers are quite marvelous.
That could be managed if you give us the basic, the patterns or ideas for it. It could be entered. Uh, be more someone else than me. I don't think you want me poking around pressing those buttons. You might end up with something quite horrendous on your hands.
No, it's to perform a religious ceremony.
Ah, well,
Uh,
we can have an engineer get the patterns put in for you and replicate it properly.
of course.
And that should be fairly quick. I'll talk to the chief engineer and have him figure something out, or someone here to talk to you to figure it out. Would there be anything else?
Just let the captain know I'm grateful for everything he's done.
I'll be sure to do that. He didn't want to come in person after what he viewed as a failure on his part. He did try to argue for you, but there's only so much we can do.
Of course.
Right. If there's anything else, let me know. You'll turn to leave.
Getting back up to the bridge.
Actually, the strand's going to be on the bridge, so yeah, I'll just head up to the bridge. Unless the Shran has decided to go squirrel away himself in engineering. Nope, good. Don't you dare start running now, boy. So she'll step out onto the bridge and over to the Shran at his station. Lieutenant Commander, oh no. You there, Thashran?
Sorry.
Lieutenant Commander, uh, one of our guests has requested patterns to be replicated for a religious service. I assume yourself or one of your engineers would be better suited to that task than, well, me.
They've requested what?
Certain religious things to be replicated for a ceremony they would wish to do. I assume they'll describe or have the items in some manner for to be replicated.
Yeah, I would need those in order to be able to replicate what they want, but do we know what type of?
No, I figured that we best asked by an engineer rather than me. I would half understand it best.
Okay. I'll head down there and see if I can figure this out.
Thank you, Lieutenant Commander. And now I've got to go to the captain. I'll chime this door.
Come in.
She'll step in. Captain, our other guest wishes to pass on his appreciation for what you've done. And tried to do.
Hmm. Is there something else, Lieutenant?
Are we actually going to be able to attempt asylum, or is that just words at this point?
Right now, I'm trying to see if there's any existing treaties between us and the Tholians, to see if they recognize asylum rights. But by strict reading of my understanding of regulation, this is a Federation ship with Federation law aboard it, and anyone who requests asylum, I am, as captain, able to authorize and enact. The practicality of actually applying that asylum is whether or not I can either convince the Tholians to accept. Wait, did they both ask for asylum?
No, just the one. According to her, the other is far too stubborn to request such a thing.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I might be able to argue they want to make an example. They can make an example of one and not the other, and then try to hold asylum. And there's a lot of me that wants to fight for that, if it comes down to it. But that threat involves possibly starting the war that we're trying to prevent. Hence why I didn't want to give it to her immediately. I wanted to see if there was some way I could force the Assembly's hand through the force of law, since they are a very legalistic society. If I can get it to fit in their Assembly rules and regulations, then that's what I'm going to do. In the meantime, we're going to try to treat these people as much as we can. And at some point, I'm going to have to make a call whether or not I'm going to risk the ship for one person, or risk the Federation for one person.
Well, regardless of the choice, Captain, I'm here, and I will do what you ask. There's no easy way in this situation.
No. No, there is not.
And, well, unfortunately for you, it's your head. Your choice? Poor wording.
No, the wording was correct, Lieutenant. My head will definitely be on it either way. I imagine I'm going to have a talking to with Nia if we ever get back, so. In any event, what I want you to do is check in with Dr. Quinn, make sure that our preparations are ready for the away team to speak with his counterpart below, and he can take the lead on this since this is a medical-focused assignment. I'm going to try to see if I can find some way to save this lady. Also, once you've done that as well, I want you to have either yourself or someone in your department to investigate, as a bit of political shell game, investigate to make sure that no one, that our guest came of this knowledge of her own volition, that we made no effort to point her toward our asylum laws. She just happened to look them up. And I'm not asking you to fudge this information. I'm asking for genuine investigation, because some societies may try to throw the prime directive at us, but if she happened to look it up all on her own, he smiles, well, one can't be accused of interfering in the laws of others if they simply asked us to enforce our laws. It's a fine point to argue with the Tholians, but an extra bit of battery life in the phaser makes life for me a little more comfortable than just holding an empty phaser and bluffing.
Understood, Captain. I'll look into it after talking with Dr. Quinn.
There's nothing else, Lieutenant. You're dismissed.
Yes, Captain.
Oh.
Step out. Is Quinn actually on the bridge?
I just put him there. I don't know where he's actually at.
Quinn's in medical bay.
Okay. I'm not going down to medical. You get the comm badge. So she'll tap her badge. Lieutenant Ceresa to Dr. Quinn.
Quinn here.
How is preparations going on your end for what is required?
We're producing copies of the cures as quickly as we can. A little slower than I would like, but we're doing the best we can. Got instructions and everything we need to provide for the Silvorians to create for mass produce the cure for themselves. How's the captain doing on figuring out a way not to hand over our guests?
We may have an answer for one of them. We are currently looking into that as best as possible. With any luck, we'll have something. But I believe this would be called the razor edge situation. No?
Well, everyone around here seems tense. That's for sure.
But as long as everything's going well on your end, that's good to hear, Doctor. Hopefully we'll be able to get this all sorted quickly. Oh no! Oh no, Captain.
Well, I hope so. I mean, last case resort, we could just fake their death.
God. God's in heaven.
Well, that's all I had to pass on to you, Doctor. Good luck.
Keep me informed.
Sarissa, give me control plus security difficulty of 2. This is by the ship's computers plus security to kind of go through the log files from Tenya's computer access in her quarters.
Investigative techniques as a focus?
Sure.
It's like this is what I do. This is actually what Service is supposed to do. Okay, do we have? No, we do not. Okay. A threat. I think I'm the senior officer on the bridge. Fantastic. Let's go. It passed! That's a threat, by the way.
The ship also gets an assist computer security.
Computer security, standby. Computer security.
Hey.
You get a momentum. Yes, she looked up this all on her own. From what you can tell. Like, it's voice access that she asked the computer, like, specific question. Is there any law pertaining to granting one temporarily immunity from different types of or government yada yada yada. Essentially, she looked up asylum in her own words. So
Yeah, well, we'll just take a copy of that recording and the other stuff, and then just send that to the captain as a here you go.
Tip number 2. Oh, thank you. And ship. Let's just say I just pulled two complication out of my neck. So, no stress at all. No stress at all. I'm fine.
Nope.
I'm fine. The ship saw us roll, though. Because of course it did. Why wouldn't it do that? Why not? It's fine.
you did gain 2 momentum.
I'll spend those to claw shit. Oh, veteran test.
All right.
Oh, well.
But that means we still have 1 then? Maybe, unless you spent it, I don't know.
He gained 2. The thing is, though, it was a difficulty 2. He rolled 6 dice, and he gave me 6 stress. Like, no, I'll spend 4. Complication range is 3.
Okay,
Fun.
yeah. So we still have 1 momentum then. Because Sarissa made 1 as well.
2.
2, right? Oh.
Yeah. We haven't had a scene change yet.
Yes. Actually, Vogel.
Was I summoned?
I was going to ask if did Vogel go and change out of her dress uniform?
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay. In that case, Sarissa, who's still in hers because she just quickly went from one thing to another, is going to, Vogel, you have the bridge, and going to go get changed. Which really shouldn't take too long, but I wanted to make a time for her to get out of her dress uniform.
You ever get the feeling you're about to get a message that's a very roundabout way of telling you no?
Yes. I had that from you, actually.
Can imagine why I have that feeling. Just idle ponderance, really.
That is the way the Tholians work, though.
Well, there's something I'm trying, and hopefully I'm pulling it off, but we'll see. I don't know. A lot of resources spent into it just to look it up. Imagine getting that and getting the complication anyway. Actually, you're required to shoot them yourself. Wait, what? Yeah, apparently that's what the treaty says.
Ugh.
Yeah, from when we first met them, we really didn't think it through.
It doesn't specify lethal. Shoot them with stun. Weird loophole ability. That does sound like a very Federation loophole, though.
Whew. Okay. Okay, cool. Cool.
Is it a yes, but actually no, but maybe
It's
possibly?
It's a plan. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. I'll figure it out.
It's not a Bucky throwing a wrench into something at all, Just saying.
Status report. Have we heard back from the Tholians about that data?
They sent over the beam down coordinates.
Where's Dr. Quinn?
Quinn here.
Have you decided on your away team yet?
Yes, I'm going to take mostly medical personnel, but I'd like an engineer along just in case something breaks.
Well, you can have your medical personnel, but I'm going to have at least one security officer with you, just to ensure for the safety of the away team and ensure that the away team adheres to our agreement with the Tholians.
Well, I appreciate your concern, Captain. So, me, 2 medical assistants, an engineer, and a security officer. We all get is 5.
Yeah, that's the most we're getting.
Understood, Captain. Hey, Captain, do you trust the Tholians?
Why do you ask, Doctor?
How sure are we they're actually going to distribute the cure to the population?
Well, the auspice is that we're going to be here to monitor to make sure that it's working the way it's supposed to and it's spreading. If they simply just wanted to kill the populace, they could just bombard the planet with energy sweeps and glass the planet. They've chosen not to do that, thankfully. So I presume they want to if they want to cure their populace of disease, that would be preferable than them constantly falling victim to the disease over and over. So, at least from a utilitarian point of view, it would be better for them to treat them than not. But we can make sure that it is, and diplomatically speaking, we can keep it on the. We can keep an observation of the situation for as long as they're going to let us.
Fair enough, Captain. As a fallback, do you want me and the engineer to come up with a way to maybe surreptitiously give the information for producing the cure to the Sylvian people?
Until we have reason to believe that the information won't be spread or isn't being spread, then it is diplomatically problematic for you to act in what may be perceived as a dishonest manner, since that may not only draw the Federation into hostile intentions, but that may doom the Silvorians who take such information without the proper authorizations.
Understood, Captain. You should know, though, that our presence here is an annoyance to that ambassador. I don't think he really cares.
I'm sure the Assembly doesn't really appreciate being shown that they're not capable of doing something, and the Federation is. But the idea here isn't to show them up as much as they think it. The idea here is to show them that they're better off working with us than working alone. So let's make ourselves as useful as possible while still adhering to our own values.
Appreciate it, Captain. But you should know that there was almost nothing you could have said to change that Tholian's mind.
Don't mind me, Doctor. I can be just as stubborn as any Tholian. I'll figure something out.
Understood. Cornell.
So, Sarissa, who are you going to send along to your with the security escort with Dr. Quinn? Also, you're still in my chair.
Sorry.
Thank you.
I think Lieutenant Junior Grade Simon.
Oh, Simon, you mean?
I thought Simon was first name. Yeah, my bad, either way.
Very well. And thanks for the report, by the way. That'll be useful.
Of course, sir.
Captain to the Strand.
You call me Captain?
Oh, you're just over there. Sorry. So, which engineer do you want to send along with Dr. Quinn with helping out with any of the efforts down there?
I mean, it would be logical if I went with him, but then we could always send. I'm still getting used to all of my engineering team's names. We could always send Leith with him, I think. Yeah.
Well, it's up to you who would be best served for the mission and for their own growth. But if you think you're the best bet for success, then it's better that you go. But then again, it depends what the doctor exactly needs of your staff. You know, we're working with a civilization we don't know a ton about.
Yeah. Let's see what he needs, and then we can decide who, sir.
All right, head down to the transporter room then and coordinate with Dr. Quinn then.
Understood.
And if you're heading down, send up Leith up here to liaison with on the engineering front up here.
Yeah.
If you're
course,
the one that's
sir.
going down, of course.
Understood.
Tin Vogel.
Go ahead.
I want you to do a scan of the local space area. Look for anything in the event that the Tholians take offense to something we do. I would like to have an escape plan. Right now, everything seems to be fine, but I'd rather not strand us this far in, especially if the war breaks out.
Aye, Captain. I'll get working on that.
Also, once you have that done, I have a care to take a look at the data that the Tholians send us over. If there's anything that's strange in their data, strange editing or anything of that sort, feel free to let me know. But get the nebula thing, the escape vector figured out first, and then we can worry about checking on the data. Hopefully, the doctor will find out all the information he needs. But I'd rather not pass on faulty information from the Tholians if they decide to be especially secretive, shall we say?
Understood, Captain.
The captain will finally sit down, with a very, very nasty plan in his head.
The Strand, did you get my message in Discord?
Yeah, I got. Oh boy. I've got to head back to the bridge and talk to the captain.
You head back to the bridge before meeting up with the doctor in the transporter room.
Yeah, basically, I'll head back to the bridge and go, the Strand to the doctor.
Quinn here.
I've got something I need to take care of real quick. I'll meet you in the transporter room in 15.
Understood. Meet you there.
And when I get to the bridge, I'm going. Captain, I need to see you.
I'm here. How can I help you, Lieutenant Commander?
Oh, I thought you were on the bridge. Sorry.
I am. I saw your token on the bridge, so I thought you were there. But yeah, I'm on the bridge, Lieutenant Commander. How can I help you?
I need to see you in your ready room, sir.
Very well. I'll meet you there.
This is.
Sarissa, you have the bridge. And by the way, could you check over rules and regulations regarding phaser safety aboard starships? I wanted to. I'm thinking of doing a drill in the next once we get back to Tholian space, and I wanted to make sure we have we're up to date on all the more recent regulations.
Yes, sir.
All right, Lieutenant Commander. What's going on?
One of the Silvorians asked for some, what I was told, religious artifacts to perform a certain ritual.
Mm-hmm.
I just got a list of the artifacts, and I believe he intends to, just from what I'm seeing, it leads me to believe he intends to attempt to do ritualistic suicide, and he's going to hand you the pad, and I'll send this to you over Discord real quick. I don't know what I should do, sir.
Have you identified the substance?
No, I just received this and I came right to you once I noticed number one, the dagger, for sure.
All right. Have it replicated and present it in a storage container to me. I'll bring it to him and inquire as to the purpose of this. We may be assuming that this is a ritual suicide kit, as it were, but this may be the letting of blood or offering of some variety. We have to be careful of presuming too much without further evidence.
Well, I hope you're right, sir, but I didn't want to take that chance.
On my head be it. You did your diligence, Lieutenant Commander, and you are right to bring it up. Hence why I'll be handling it past the replication stage.
Understood. I'll have Leith replicate supplies and bring them to you, sir. I think I'll head down to the planet with the doctor.
Very good.
All right, sir.
On your way, Lieutenant Commander.
Sorry to bother you, but
Nope, not at all.
sorry to bother you with this. All
No,
right,
you're...
sir. Lieutenant the Stranded Specialist Leith. Yeah, Senior Chief Leith, I think it is. Sorry.
Specialist.
Can you look at that? Okay.
He's senior chief specialist.
Yes, it's a lot.
Chief or specialist?
Leith, I need you to... I'm sending you a list of items that I need you to replicate. Deliver them to the captain upon completion. I'm headed down to the surf to help the doctor, and then you can stay on the bridge.
Yes, sir.
Thanks a lot, Lee. The Shrain.
So is this the away team? It's going down.
I think so, yeah.
I need a control plus engineering difficulty. 0. This is by the ship's sensors plus engineering. Complication range is 2.
You said control engineering?
Yes. And you are on the transporter pad, so...
Yeah, it has to be Vori.
Yep. So... Oops.
Okay. Yeah, I think he's gonna spend 1 momentum for a third die.
Oops.
And you said complication range was what?
2.
Pause the ship.
4 momentum was gained. And you go down 1 momentum for the next scene. But meanwhile, before we check on the away team, on the bridge, Leaf hands you a box. Says the appropriate items, Captain.
Very good. Thank you, Leith.
The substance is non-toxic, if you were wondering.
I was
From the
specialist.
computer.
What kind of substance is it?
Best guess, some sort of sap-like substance.
I beg your pardon, specialist. Did you say sap?
Yes. Like an ointment? Maybe. I'm not entirely too sure. I replicated the best I could with given the chemical compound. I'm not a doctor.
Well, no. Oh, very well, specialist. Thank you.
Of course, Captain. I'll be here on the bridge if you need me.
Sursa, you have the bridge once more?
Sir?
You go into the quarters.
Yep. Oh god, there's a Sursa gone. Ah. Oh, she's gone now. Chime the door.
Enter.
Hello, career.
Captain Thatton.
And they set the box down and open it. I believe these are the things you requested to have replicated. Wanted to make sure they were what you were looking for. I've been told that one of the substances was a type of sap or ointment. Want to make sure that was the correct. If we actually replicated what you wanted correctly.
Yes. As he starts examining all the items, this will definitely do. Thank you.
May I ask what these are for?
An ancient ritual. Not one of. I am not planning on killing myself. I am sure the Tholians will make good use of that, Captain.
So what is the ritual? I mean, if you're about to tear up my bed, I'd rather like to know. I have to inform operations to replace those.
Nothing like that, Captain. I plan to prepare myself for the next world.
Do you require any assistance or a special space of any kind prepared for you? Beyond the items replicated?
No, this space will do just fine. If you don't mind asking if Tia could bear witness. For me, Captain. She's not responding to my messages.
Taps his comm badge. Uh, Officer Barry, could you check with Taya for me? I wish to speak with her.
Of course. In the room with the other captain?
Yeah, she's the one the one whose door you're assigned to. I just walked by you.
I'm just making sure we're at that location, sir, not somewhere else. The door chimes.
Come in, please.
You asked me here, Captain.
Yes, on behalf of your friend here, he wishes your presence as a witness for a ritual. And he gestures to the box to kind of imply what's going on.
I will not perform that ancient ritual with you. There's no need for this. Taya, please. Let's not let our deaths be in vain. You're a fool. She just walks out.
I may be poor substitute for your friend, but I'm willing to do what I can to aid you in your ritual as best I can.
No, there's no need, Captain. Thank you.
Very well.
He unfolds the cloth, dimensions, places it about, sets the vial off the side, the dagger in the center, gets down on his knees, and starts whispering.
I'll step out of the room.
Heading back to the bridge.
Yeah.
Way team, you beam down into the surface. Well, not on the surface, but into a essentially a hospital. It's actually very nicely furnished. White walls, and a man comes up and greets you. Ah, I am Dr. Zetin. Welcome. I was
Well,
told.
before you, Dr. Quinn,
Is this all that you brought with you?
this was all the Tholians permitted us to bring with us.
Of course. I'm assuming the um, s- supplies will be down here momentarily. I
As
was
soon as
told
we're
you
ready,
had a cure.
cure, doctor, but I need to make, but it's based on a 20-year-old version of the virus. I need to make sure it hasn't mutated in the last 20 years.
20-year version of the virus. That's extraordinary.
Well, the only sample I had was from some older folks.
I did not realize the virus had spread beyond our world. If must, I have patience this way. If you follow me.
Well, certainly. But tell me, how has been your efforts to cure the virus?
Well, we make do with what we can, Dr. Quinn. We've had some great research on it, but the our Tholian masters know what's best.
GM, does he really believe that?
He believes that he will say whatever he needs to say to stay alive and maintain his position of power. Like, you get the sense like he knows he could be doing more, but the Tholians only allow him to do so much, and he will follow whatever regulations the Tholians set before him.
Okay, as I walk with him and talk with him, I'm going to keep a mental ear out for somebody who might be a little more maverick in their thoughts. That makes sense?
Looking for a dissenter.
This seems like a guy that if I hand him all my research, he just hand it over to the Tholian. So I need to kind of keep a mental eye out for somebody that might be willing to disseminate covertly.
Tell me, Dr. Quinn, how did you come across the virus?
Do you really want to know?
Well, I'm sure our Tholian masters permitted you to do so. Otherwise, you would not be here.
Well, they haven't told me I can't. We encountered a couple of your people outside Tholian space a few weeks.
kind of looks
rescued
at you
them.
like he stops you. He's like, and gives like this serious look, like no more. Like you mentally think like you need to stop talking. Like he's kind of giving you the word like don't speak.
But perhaps we should see your patients. That seems more important.
Oh, yes, of course. That's much more prudent. The health and well-being of our people is. And he walks you into sort of a ICU, sort of in a containment. An individual who definitely you could tell is in the later stages of the disease. Um, he seems to be quarantined and kind of like engaged in like his own little bubble, essentially. Nurses are working through with sort of like the gloves that are embedded into the containment where they can actually work and do things without actually entering inside the quarantine portion of it.
All right, I'm gonna scan him with my medical tricorder, specifically looking for differences between the virus as he has it and as we encountered with our.
Reason plus medicine difficulty of 2.
Xenobiology for a focus.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna spend one of those momentum if I can.
Three momentum gained, and from what you can tell, the virus has mutated slightly, but not a whole lot. Um, Otherwise, from what you can tell, your cure would still work. You have synthesized.
Is there anything I can do to my cure to make it slightly more?
That would require. It just depends on what you wish to do with it. There are ways you could potentially enhance it. From what you do know of the illness, it is transmitted through like absorption, so touch.
But the cure I've got will work the way it is.
Yeah, it enhances the antibodies of the person who's suffering, so they can fight off the illness effectively.
All right, so I'm gonna call Doctor Zatin over to me, and maybe a couple of the nurses or another doctor, and I'm gonna walk him through the differences in the virus and explain to him how I came up with the cure as a way of reassuring him and as to how the cure will work.
Of course. It seems so simple now that I think about it. Perhaps the difference in the technology that the Tholians allow you to keep has hindered our progress in developing a cure for ourselves.
Looking around their hospital, can I see what I would need to replicate the?
They don't really have the appropriate facilities for it.
All right. Well, while I'm thinking of other things, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get my medical staff and me. We're gonna go through a little OJT with Zayt and his crew about how to distribute the cure, and we're gonna get to work.
You talk Zen through on how to administer the cure, which is a fairly simple process. It's just merely giving everyone injections, and during that time, you sort of start to get a sense of I'm not gonna say malice, but some sort of ill will intent is about to happen somewhere in the hospital.
I mean, immediate facility or just anywhere in the hospital.
Anywhere in the hospital, you just get this weird feeling like this.
I'm gonna step over to Shran. I'm gonna drag my security officer with me. Tell him something bad's about to happen. I don't know what, but somebody has ill will in this hospital.
Alarms start announcing, and Dr. Zen kind of thinks like, "Come quick!" He starts motion you guys down an area, and in the vents, you could smell this odd odor coming from in the air as you start seeing this gas pour from the vents above. Quick, we must get to the.
I'm gonna follow him. Well, I'm gonna put a follow him up, looking at my tricorder, trying to figure out what this is.
While you do that, but I need everyone to make fitness plus medicine difficulty 2.
This should be good.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Everybody's in
spend
the way.
I'm guessing I don't have focus.
No.
Yeah. Figure. Take. Let's do 1 threat, 2 momentum. Because I have. Okay.
That is okay. Let's see what you can do here, Leon. Just throw momentum at you for that. Wow. Okay, never mind. You actually had decent, but that was so high.
I need.
I will grab Desmond. Nope. Try again. There we go. Ba, 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 throw momentum at it. Okay.
2 gained.
Really?
And
Just the other doctor.
Severine at it too.
And she has a complication. you spend to get rid of the complication?
I'd say we might as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. As you're going down the corridor, you see Dr. Quinn gets lightheaded and collapses to the ground. Same with Simon. The rest of you, while you're still awake, you definitely feel lightheaded and dizzy. And Dr. Zadin reaches over to a emergency sort of respirator. And while he's trying to grab that out, you see several Silvorian individuals wearing what appears to be gas masks coming down the hallway towards you, carrying appears to be rifles.
Lieutenant Commander, we should probably beam out of here. Goes over to Quinn to make sure he's not dying.
Yeah, agreed. I'm gonna hit my comm badge.
No response. Get static. Dr. Zen kind of reaches and he's fumbling and needs to make another check. Nope. And he goes out.
Oh boy.
They rush you. They don't shoot at you, but they motion. Put your hands up.
I'm gonna slowly comply. Why? What have we done?
I need everybody who's left standing make a fitness plus medicine difficulty 3.
Oh boy. Rolling on Discord. And how much momentum do we have left?
1.
Oh boy. In that case, I'm going to have to do the reverse of earlier. 1 momentum, 2 threat. Because, well, no. Let's just do 1 threat.
Okay.
Now I'm rolling a 12. No focus, so that's only 2.
And you go out. Desmond and the other 2 doctors. Or sorry, Desmond and the other doctor.
For Desmond, going to spend 1 momentum and give you 5 threat. I'm kind of hoping to generate some momentum here. Oh, she has freaking field medic. Oh well. Bang. Reroll that 0 with
one
cautious
momentum.
medicine. 2 momentum.
2 momentum.
Now we just need a roll for the counselor with 2 momentum on the table.
Yep. However, which is the roll for her?
Now, grab her, I suppose, just to get things going. Fitness, medicine. Have no talents or focuses. Good thing you're along. Have a threat. Spending 2 momentum. Waha.
For the 2 remain standing, we now go into combat.
With no weapons.
No weapons. One points his rifle and takes aim at Desmond, who's still up trying to check on the doctor.
Maybe he aims at his buddy who stole his drink. You know, he could be really upset about that. No? Okay, thought I'd ask.
Not that.
Zatin, you traitor.
Hey, I get 2 threat. I believe that is 5 stress to Desmond.
Bye, Desmond.
Yeah, keeping her up puts her at risk of being stressed out. She only has like 3 stress left.
She goes down.
Yeah.
I need to spend threat for that. To go first. What is, because it's your go. She's the last one standing. What is she going to do?
I think she should just run for it and try to escape. Because she can't fight this many people.
So she's
especially as a
sprint?
bloody counselor. Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, fitness, security, difficulty 0. And she, in order to escape, she's going to need to go. She's currently within medium range, so she needs to go to extreme to kind of get away.
So she needs at least 2 momentum on the table.
Yep.
Or she has to spend 2 threat. Either way, but that's adding more threat would not be a great thing right now.
Honestly, does she have a determination? Because
she does. She does not. That's why I was hoping Desmond was going to stay up because she has determination. So, well, we'll just roll fitness security flat, and we'll just cover the costs with threat. Which is going to suck, but she has to run. Oh, that was other lady.
There is a momentum generated.
Spending that 1 plus 1 threat to cover the cost of sprinting.
And she runs away, very not Endorian like.
very counselor like though.
She has no Sean, no phaser. It's like, yeah, these are losing odds.
One of the Silvorians kind of like stops him and then cut back to the bridge. Did the captain just get back up onto the
He would have.
bridge?
Yeah, this is just him getting there now. Yeah.
Oh, Captain on the bridge.
Any updates?
None so far, sir. Unless you particularly want me to go through and bore you with phaser drill.
Give me a copy of the phaser drill, and I'll read it up on my pad.
Aye, sir. Sent.
Thank you. Man, I knew the Tholians were going to be set in their ways, but I didn't know they were going to be that intransient. Transient? Intransient? I'm forgetting the word. He actually says like he's pondering.
I don't know what word you're trying to get at, sir.
Stubborn, I suppose?
That works.
Hmm.
We've met a lot of stubborn races.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, stubbornness is a virtue, but shrug. I mean, there's a point where compassion would be nice to slip in, but I guess that's just not a thing in Tholian culture. Or maybe they have some version of compassion that we don't really understand.
Or it is not to be shown to outsiders. Who knows?
Any update on that escape plan, Vogel?
Just waiting to see what I need to roll for it.
Reason con. I have a threat here, so difficulty 4, complication range 3.
Ooh.
So yeah, reason con, difficulty 4, complication range 3. Suspend these
Okay.
ships. Computers plus con.
Don't worry, the ship's 11 will totally help you.
I know, right?
What should we get crit?
I don't think I have a value for this. And I don't think I have a focus either. If only I kept astro navigation. Might add that. Alright, so this would be a 15. How lucky do I feel? You could have 3 threat pracs. We'll see if that ship comes through for us.
Well,
Like I said, we'll see if the ship comes through. Nope.
With the added complication to the roll, you're so deep into Tholian space, it is very highly unlikely you will not be able to escape without some sort of backup or confrontation with the Tholians that could be detrimental to the Tenshi.
Captain, we're so far into Tholian space and they have so many patrols in this area, it's unlikely that we'll be able to get very far before we are interested.
Well, it's nice to know the odds. Thank you, Lieutenant Vogel. It's about what I estimated as well, but It always helps to have a second set of eyes confirm things rather than think the worst. Mm-hmm.
I've not received a word from the away team yet, Captain.
How long has it been?
That sounds like a GM question. It's been a couple of hours, Captain. They are well outside of the standard protocol for away teams.
All right. Call the doc. Actually, let's not bother the doctor. Call Thishran. Best guess, the doctor probably just got wrapped up in what he's doing and forgot to call up.
Ring, 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 banana phone.
Still can't ring the away team, Captain.
Are they receiving the signal? He puts down his pad and steps out of the chair.
All systems are indicating that they are receiving the signal, Captain. It just seems they're not answering.
That's strange. We were able to beam them down. That shouldn't have locked us out. Did their scattering field increase in intensity?
No.
All right. Scan for the away team and check on their life signs. Maybe this disease has some other effect we're not aware of.
Reason plus science, difficulty of 2, assisted by the ship's sensors plus science.
Sorry, what's the rule?
Reason plus science, difficulty 2, assisted by the ship's sensors plus science.
Of course, we have no momentum. Take a threat.
Threat game today, guys.
I can't even re-roll that. God damn it.
You get a momentum. There's a complication.
Momentum and threat?
I'm just going to use it. I mean, if you want, it's not that bad.
Okay.
Says you.
I mean, I'm always for complications, so.
Fair, yeah. Your console explodes. Wait, what?
This isn't good, Captain. I'm picking up their comm badges, but I'm not detecting any life signs in the hospital.
All right, lock onto the badges and beam up whatever's attached to them. And set it to transporter room 3 and isolate that room for quarantine. Might be a biohazard issue. At least I sure hope it is. He walks back to his chair.
Do you want me to head down there, sir?
In an EVA suit, just to be safe.
Understood.
That will be an opportunity cost.
Yep, that's fine.
Yep.
Now, does Vogel have determination?
Yes.
I'm thinking of just having Vogel do the beam from the bridge. It increases the difficulty by 1, but it means that there's less people in the room to be exposed, because that's what the captain wants to do. But she's feeling a little tired today. He might just go, I'll get someone else to do it. Here comes the threat spend. Oh. Oh. Oh no. Just complication increase.
Yeah, it's complication range 3, control plus engineering difficulty of 1, assisted by the ship's sensors plus engineering.
Diff 1, huh?
Yep.
Even from the bridge?
Yes. You're not doing site to site, and then so it's not from a pad, which goes up to a pad, which is an increase of 1 difficulty. It's base 2, so you'll be at 3. But it's going to the transport room, so it says actually 2 difficulty 2. My bad.
Yeah.
Cool.
Your advanced
Just
sensors
kind of goes
down
up
by
and
1.
down. Yeah.
Yeah, it's confusing.
Now,
They
if
just give them
Prax,
onto a pad.
if Prax will take the value, nothing is more important than the mission, because the captain has given me basically an order to get them up, and that's pretty much all I'm focusing on. You know, that's her direct mission right now.
Because from our knowledge, this might be a biohazard issue, because we don't know what's wrong yet. It's like, oh, get them out of there, whatever's going on.
Sure, I'll accept that. There is no
Sweet.
focus with you, though, so.
Yep.
What? You don't have translator replicators? What kind of operations officer are you?
I have power management and computers, and I can run sensors.
Those aren't important.
But hey, that's 4 successes. I mean, I have decent stats across the board for con, for engineering, science.
Come on, complication.
Oh, the ship. You're right. You're right. You're
It's
right.
comp 3, so.
Doop, doop. Yeah.
3 momentum gain.
You were hoping.
I mean, I have technical expertise, so I guess technically I had a reroll anyway.
It rolled 1. Leave it alone.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm
re-rolling it just because I wanted a complication. No, stop. Oh, that's encouraging.
And only 1 individual beams aboard on the transporter room, while there are 4 other comm badges lying on the transporter pad. And when the counselor beams aboard, she falls to the ground because she's passed out.
Is the rest of the bridge?
Bridge here, go ahead.
We have 1 member of the away team, 4 comm badges. It is a counselor, Zavrina, that has returned, and she is unconscious. Or she collapsed upon arrival. She must have just been holding it together. And Source is going to go to the counselor to check at her.
Reason medicine, difficulty of 1.
That's a flat 10 roll. Good for me.
There's momentum.
That's true. 3 momentum
There
on the
is.
table.
Yeah. I mean, I could also just determination. I don't think I can, actually. I don't think I put a... yeah, I do. Technically, I have a value for it.
What value?
Family and ship always come first.
Yeah, she didn't even wait for me to say anything. She just rushed over and checked on her.
Just
Sure.
because I have absolutely no faith in my own ability here. Okay, apparently I should have had more faith. That was just barely, but whatever. That's 2 momentum still.
She is asleep, but otherwise unharmed.
She seems fine, Captain. Asleep for some reason, but there's no
Sleep.
injury to her. No, her skin's fine. It's not flaking, anything like that.
Can you
It's-
shake
I
her
don't think-
awake?
One moment, Captain. Kind of, the gentle shoulder shake kind of thing to be like, can I?
No. She's out like a light. You definitely can tell if from the scanners that it's chemically induced. So
Non-responsive, Captain. It seems some kind of chemical, if I'm reading these right, is responsible. That's about as much as I could tell you. Desmond.
Well, couldn't you inject just some sort of a stimulant from Replicator and just wake her up?
I could.
I
My
suppose we could.
medical training is not particularly fantastic, Captain.
Stand by. Bridge to sick bay. 1 medical team to transporter room 3 on the double.
Desmond got shot, right?
Yeah, she's not there.
Yeah.
you don't have a medical staff. Like, you need a supporting character for this, really.
Anyone with appropriate medical training. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna. Actually,
Well, the security
I'll do
guy
it
with
this
medical
way.
training's already gone.
I'll do this way. If you give me 2 momentum, there'll be a medical team that arrives and delivers the appropriate substance in a hypospray that will wake her up.
there you go.
Okay. But I was going to ask, if she got shot, is it possible that there's some residue of
She
such
didn't get
on her
shot.
comm badge? Didn't she?
No.
She did not
No,
get
no,
shot.
no.
She ran before that
Desmond.
happened.
Desmond's got shot, but we've got her
yeah.
comm badge. So I'm asking if it's possible there's
Oh.
some residue of such on her comm badge.
For 2 threat that I'm spending, just to make sure there is not.
Damn it. Here I was with a good idea and everything.
Hey, you made them spend the 2 threat. That's
I know.
That's always a good thing.
It's threat. I'll get it back.
Says you.
She slowly wakes up.
And bounds away like a scared deer.
Source will probably be assisting her to sit up slowly. Well, welcome back, counselor.
The others, we were attacked. We were gassed. Something was in the vents. The others.
All right.
Looks around, kind of confused.
The others are still down there, but now we know we can go get them. Captain, did you hear all of that? Just assuming she's been keeping her comm badge on.
Part of it. Did she say there was gas?
Yes, Captain. From the vents. Which sounds like an inside mechanism to me at first hearing, but could be anything else. I don't know what their hospital looks like down there.
All right. Get the council. Get the counselor to the medical bay and have her looked over, and compile a report on what you can find on the pads. I'm gonna have a nice chat with the Tholians about what's going on here.
Understood, Captain. Get her to medical and debrief.
As much information as you can from the counselor. Any tip we can get might reveal what exactly is going on.
Yep.
Alright.
And she'll,
Scene
there's a medical team. They can do it.
scene change.
Okay.
As we move back down to the planet's surface.
It was all a trap to get us to use up all of our momentum.
All a trap, you say?
I maybe shouldn't provoke him like that.
Maybe.
It's fine, I'm not done.
Nice.
Yeah. You're next, Vogel.
Oh, I already had mine.
I think I'm gonna send Vogel down there by herself to rescue the team. That sounds like a good plan.
If I get my psychic powers back, I'm for it.
Oh, that's the other game. I get confused of which stuff I place in which ones. Crap. It's totally not the right music for it. Doctor and the rest of the away team, you wake up, you find yourself bound to appears to be a metal chair.
What do our surroundings look like?
Sorry, I had someone enter the room. Your surroundings, you appear to be in some sort of cave or cavern. It's rocky, so you could assume that you are underground somewhere. Appears that there are guards all around you, and one man kind of walks up. So, you're the people from the stars. On behalf of all the Silvorians, welcome to our world.
I am Lieutenant Commander Alton Quinn, the United Federation of Planets. I demand to know why we've been abducted.
Well, precisely, I need your help. I am Atos, leader of the civilian resistance. And you, my friend, are the greatest bargaining chip we have. And with that, this will be to be continued.
Do